What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today, or I guess yesterday by the time you're watching this video, there was a massive leak regarding Battle Royale in Modern Warfare, and this is coming directly from the actual in-game code. So this is from data miners. This isn't just rumors that are floating around from various leakers out there that are getting information from unknown sources. This is actually information that is found within the game code itself. And there is a ton of information here, so let's get into the information itself, and I also want to share my thoughts on what it's looking like with Battle Royale with Modern Warfare. So just a quick recap for those people that haven't been keeping up with the leaks in the past. It looks like Battle Royale for Modern Warfare isn't going to be coming until early 2020, so like January or February in 2020, and it looks like it'll be a separate free-to-play client, so you won't have to actually own Modern Warfare in order to play this Battle Royale. Additionally, all the leaks have suggested that this will take place on the massive map where all of the Spec Ops maps as well as Ground War maps are currently placed. If you take a good look around as you're playing Spec Ops or even the Ground War maps, you can see areas outside of the playable area that you're in. That entire area put together is going to be the Battle Royale map, and this was actually confirmed by this new information that was data mined from the code. Now, I would love to put this full map up on the screen, but since it was data mined, I could end up getting into trouble, so what I'm going to do is just leave a link down below to all of the data mine leaks that I'm going to be talking about today, so you can check out the images that were data mined, as well as just the information I'm going to be talking about today. But let's get into the new information. First up, this data mine code shows a bunch of zones as well as points of interest. I don't need to get into them in great detail, but it's things like airfield or boneyard, for instance, all stuff that we have seen in either Ground War or Spec Ops already. Now, much more importantly, we have the default options for public matches. And the first thing is it looks like this Battle Royale is going to be 200 players by default. Which makes sense because after taking a good look around the Spec Ops map and just how big the entire map is going to end up being, I don't think 100 players would cut that by any means, so 200 players looks like it would be much more suitable to that size and openness of map, which is awesome news. Also, there's going to be solo, duos, and 4-man squads, which is pretty standard for Battle Royale. Apparently, by default, there will be an endgame radar, so when you get to a certain stage, the radar apparently will turn on and it should ping enemy players, which I think is a great idea for flushing those campers out in that last section where everybody's going in to fight. And that should hopefully prevent people from just waiting to third party the last person. And I think that could actually play out quite well. Also, they have an infiltration option, which is the C-130, so it's going to be like PUBG. You come in on a big plane, everybody jumps out and then parachutes from there. But that does imply that there will be different infiltration options that we'll look at in just a little bit. Also, something I really like the sounds of, there will be a pre-game free-for-all lobby. So as you're waiting for the map to load and for the lobby to fill, it will just be a big free-for-all environment, so you can go around practicing your shot and just killing people before the game starts. As for our health value, by default, this is going to be set to 150 health, which is really good news. This is one of my concerns about Battle Royale with Modern Warfare, is that the time to kill would be just as fast as regular multiplayer, and I don't think that would work out too well for Battle Royale, because if you have only one life and you have the ability to die in basically the blink of an eye, you're not going to be seeing very many people moving around the map at all. So having that 150 health, I think, makes way more sense. You're still going to be able to put people down pretty quickly, but hopefully that will give people enough of an incentive to actually move around a little bit. Additionally, it looks like when you go into Last Stand, when you're playing duos or squads, if you get knocked down, you will have 100 health while being downed, and your revived health will be 30. So if a teammate revives you, you come up with 30 health. And we also see that the timer for Last Stand is 60 seconds, so you have 1 minute to revive your down teammate before they go down forever. And also it takes 7 seconds to revive a down teammate. They also have a friendly fire punish limit, which is great to see. If you have like a random teammate, for instance, that's just griefing and purposely knocking his own teammates, it looks like he will be punished for that, which is excellent to see. And finally, Gulag is on. That is an option that we're going to talk about in a little bit, but it's a very interesting thing coming to this Battle Royale experience, according to the code. So those are all the default options and what you will see in the regular public matches. Of course, all of this information is subject to change by the time it comes out, but there's also additional options for private matches, which that in itself is pretty interesting to see. It looks like we might be able to host our own private matches, which would be awesome. I would really love to host that for a lot of my viewers, for instance. That'd be a ton of fun to play that. But with this, we see more infiltration options. We have, first off, that C-130 option, but we also have the convoy option as well as the Blackhawk option for dropping into the map. You can also select the starting weapon. This can be either fists, the G21 pistol, which seems like it's going to be a new pistol coming to Modern Warfare at some point, the MP5, the M4A1, as well as the knife. So lots of different options that you can set for having a starting weapon in the game. And also you can adjust the size of the circle to start the match with. Normally you wouldn't start the match with a circle, but let's just say you're going into a match with a limited number of players. You can restrict that circle size right at the beginning of the match so that you don't have just 20 people spread out over the entire Battle Royale map, because that would just take forever. It would be really, really boring. So you can set that in private matches, and also you can set the circle damage multiplier, which is awesome to see. Now moving on to the next thing in this data mine code, it looks like we will have the ability to respawn dead teammates in duos and squads. And I really like this. This is something that I love about what Apex Legends brought to the game. Even if you get killed and your squad is still alive, I love the fact that there's still some hope for you to get back in the game and be revived. It is really frustrating in Blackout, for instance, if you die right off the beginning, but then your teammates manage to clean up everybody else. Too bad. You're stuck just sitting there spectating your teammates for the rest of the game, or they just feel the need to back out so that you can rejoin together. In this Battle Royale, it looks like you can collect respawn tokens on the map, and after one use, the respawn token will be disabled for the player. So it looks like each person can only be revived a maximum of 1 time per match. And it says to respawn a teammate, you have to obtain one of these respawn tokens, then you have to drop their body near an ambulance. So it looks like you have to actually risk yourself by picking that player's body up and carrying it to an ambulance. And then once that body is dropped in the ambulance, the player will enter the gulag. And this is what we talked about a little bit earlier. And here, this is basically a King of the Hill 1v1 gauntlet, where you have to win a 1v1 in order to get yourself respawned and back into the Battle Royale game. So it's not as simple as your teammate just picking up a token and going to a beacon and then you're respawned. There's actually a little bit of a process behind that. And I really like the idea of fighting your way through this 1v1 pit to get yourself back into the game. Of course, at some point there will be a cutoff for when you can respawn teammates onto the match, because it really wouldn't make sense for you to respawn a teammate when you're in the end stages of a game. That wouldn't be really all that fair. So that does make sense, but that's a really interesting dynamic that they're bringing to this game. Also, it looks like there are going to be missions within Battle Royale, and with these you find tablets in the Battle Royale map to activate a mission for you and your squad, and only one mission can be activated at any given time. But with this, there's various different types of missions. You can check out the post if you want to check them all out in great detail. But essentially, these missions will award you with Plunder, which we're going to get into in a little bit. Also though, with this Battle Royale experience, it says that we will have the ability to mark vehicles, locations, items, enemies, and dangerous locations. So it sounds almost like a ping system like Apex Legends. I hope that's the case. That is absolutely one of the highlights of Apex Legends, is their pinging system. I really hope we see something like that coming to this Battle Royale. And also it says here that Battle Royale will have its own slice on the main menu. So you can see the main menu now in Modern Warfare. You've got campaign, multiplayer, and then co-op. Apparently, there's going to be a fourth one, and this will be Battle Royale. So this kind of goes against the early leaks that it would be a completely separate client to have this Battle Royale experience. So you'd have to boot a completely different game than the standard Modern Warfare game. However, this could also work even if it still is free to play, which I hope is the case. I hope it's going to be free to play so it brings in as many people as possible. But they could still have it so it's free to play, so you can download it without owning Modern Warfare, but you only get access to that one tab until you buy the full game. So I think that would be a great way to market the full game to people that are enjoying the Battle Royale as well. And overall, I just think that makes sense. So it looks like that's going to be the case. It also looks like we're going to be seeing a Jump Master system similar to Apex Legends and a few other Battle Royale games. So that's the person that decides when to drop and where to drop and everything like that. And of course, they do have the option to pass that role off to somebody else, but it looks like you do drop together by default. But of course, if you choose to, you can detach from the Jump Master and land on your own. This brings us into the loot, and apparently there's going to be 5 different rarities. This is pretty standard. You have the white, green, blue, purple, and gold rarities. Also, obviously, limited inventory space. There's also mention of a requisition airdrop, which I don't know what that is at this point, but that's something that looks like it's in the game. And it also says that all of the weapons, attachments, and equipment will be coming from multiplayer, as well as some of the field upgrades and kill streaks. I'm sure a bunch of those will be adjusted specifically for the Battle Royale experience though, especially kill streaks, or at least I hope the kill streaks will. Additionally, on top of that, we have gas masks, vests, helmets, bandages, ammo, backpacks, portable defibrillator, and plunder. So definitely some new additions there for items and things that we will see within Battle Royale, which makes sense. It is required to have some unique items there. And also, of course, there will be supply crates that drop in on the map that have potentially valuable equipment or items. Now, getting into armor, unlike Blackout, we have helmets as well as armor. These are separate, and there are 3 levels of each. Level 1 helmet will reduce headshot damage by 15. I assume that's 15%, but it just says 15. Level 2 will reduce headshot damage by 30. And level 3 will also reduce headshot damage by 30, but it also reduces the effect of flashbangs and concussion grenades. As for the armor or ballistic vests, we have level 1, which absorbs 50 damage, level 2, which will absorb 150 damage, and level 3, which also absorbs 150 damage, and on top of that, it increases healing item usage by 25. Again, I assume this is 25%. Also, a bit later, there is mention of armor plates, so it looks like you will be able to repair your armor just like you can in Blackout. Next, we have 19 perks that were leaked, and we don't know exactly how the overall perk system will work. I assume it's going to be something like Blackout, where you actually find like a perk item on the map and then you activate it, and then it's only active for a certain period of time. But we don't know for sure if they're going to follow suit with that. We do know, however, based on this data mine code, 19 of the perks as well as what they're called and what they do. I'm not going to read them all out just because I don't want this video to be way too long, but of course I do encourage you guys to just click that link down below to check more of these details out for yourself. But with that, it's time to finally move into Plunder, and Plunder is the currency of this Battle Royale, and you earn this by completing missions as well as eliminating enemies. And with this plunder, you can purchase game-changing items at plunder box locations around the map. So it seems like as you get more kills, as you complete missions, you earn this plunder, and that plunder can be used to buy items that make you more powerful. So the more that you're actively completing missions and getting kills, the more powerful you'll become, which I think is excellent to see. I really like it when Battle Royale games actively reward people that are really trying to get in the fight and be active and move around and not just camp to the end of the circle. Now, if you want to camp to the end circle, I think that's fine. I just like that the game is rewarding people that are going out there and challenging fights. Now, with Plunder, the player who collects the most plunder in a match will be named the best plunderer. Seems like that's like a placeholder name. I feel like that's going to change by the time this launches, but who knows? We'll see. Also, there is a minimum amount of plunder required before you can deposit it into a bank. So you can actually take this plunder and deposit it in an ATM or a bank, and that will convert that plunder into XP for you if you would like to. Additionally, it does say that plunder that's dropped from eliminated players will expire after some time, so you do have to actively go out there and collect that plunder after you kill a player. You don't just get it automatically applied to yourself. And also, when a player enters a bank, the bank alarm will sound, which will alert all enemies within the vicinity that you're going there to deposit your plunder. So that also seems like an interesting addition. I'm a little worried that it'll be overly complex, but I don't know. I'm really interested to see. This is something that is quite unique, at least. I don't recall any other Battle Royale games having a system like this, and I think it could play out well. But with that pretty much wraps it up for the important information that we got from this data mine code. Like I said, I didn't cover absolutely every single detail because then the video would be like half an hour long, but I did want to cover the highlights. And overall, after looking at all of this is getting me very, very excited for Battle Royale this time around. Especially if this ends up being free to play, I think this could be a huge success within the Battle Royale scene. The map already seems great. I mean, we've already played on many sections of the Battle Royale map, and I think that's awesome. I really like the sound of the health, the armor, the helmets, all of that stuff seems to tie in together nicely. And then we have that respawn system with the gulag and the 1v1 pit. I think that's awesome. And the plunder on top of that, I don't know, that could go either way, I think. But I do like that players are going to be rewarded for actively going out there and taking fights as well as completing missions. So overall, it looks like it's going to be a very deep Battle Royale experience. It doesn't look like it's just going to be some lazy mode that they tagged on top of it. It looks like a lot of work went into developing this. And just for those people that are concerned, because anytime I bring up Battle Royale, people will say, oh, I don't want this because I don't want the developers' attention to be taken away from regular multiplayer, for instance. All of the rumors up until this point are suggesting that it's a completely separate studio that is handling Battle Royale. So it's a completely different team that has nothing to do with multiplayer. They are just working on Battle Royale, and I'm hoping that's the case. It looks like it's either Sledgehammer or Raven that is working on this. But with that, we're going to wrap up today's video, and of course, I'd like to know in the comment section below, after seeing all of these leaks from this code, what are your guys' thoughts on Battle Royale for Modern Warfare? Does this get you really excited for Battle Royale? Do you not like the sounds of it at all? Or are you somebody that's just indifferent in general to the whole Battle Royale experience? Just let me know those thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.